Welcome back, Troglodytes, to another episode of Trogly's Guitars. Hey, shout out to Tim Barker. He left a comment saying he wanted to see some more player's grade guitars, so this one's for you, man. This is another one of these 335S Deluxe body ES335 style guitars from 1981. Silverburst again. If you've been following my channel, I had one of these a week or so ago. That was in kind of like near mint condition. I had some finish issues. But that one sold at the Ohio Guitar Show. But I did pick up this player's grade one, and I am very glad I did. This guitar is very special. Condition-wise, it's pretty worn. All of the typical parts that you're looking for on these has been changed for modern parts, so that makes this player's grade. I can't say enough about this one, really. You really have to try this one Playing-wise, this guitar, it feels a little stiff to me. Because the strings here are, I believe, a higher gauge than usual. But, for some reason, this guitar feels so powerful to play. I really enjoyed playing this one, and hopefully that transpires into the playing demo on this one. Because at first I wasn't thinking much about this guitar, but this pickup is amazing. It is a 498T, and this is a 490R. So if you don't know about this, or you haven't watched the previous videos of this guitar, this was basically Gibson's 335 solid body version, and it kind of paired with the Paul and the SGEs that they did. These were kind of like before the Studios by a few years, but they're much better than Studios. So without any further ado, let's take a look at this guitar. The headstock, we've got some stuff to go over. These little white dots, I don't know, somebody put some like deodorizer on this guitar. It smells like fabric softener. Like, I don't know if it was like a powdered fabric softener, but it was all over this guitar and all over the case. But I've cleaned that out, so it kind of has a fresh scent to it. So I don't know if that was meant to cover up a worse smell, but that's all I smell now. But as you can see here, the lacquer has started to chip away. As you can see at the top here, the lacquer has started to chip away. Now don't pick at that, it will spread in that general area, but the finish is pretty solid on this side for the most part. I'm not sure what caused that. Maybe it got by something hot and started to get brittle and chip. I don't believe it's water damage, but you do have quite a ding there in the headstock. But that's what kind of makes this one player's grade. You've got some chipping to the finish as well in this area. As well as kind of in this area, you can see that it eventually will probably start to chip. But as far as the neck finish goes, you're good there. So this one is a little bit beat up towards the top. You can see the Gibson logo isn't quite yellowed anymore because the lacquer is chipped off. But you could get that re-cleared over if you wanted to. So once again, that's not sparkles in the finish. Those are just little dots I tried my best to clean off. Stock brass nut on these. That gives you a slightly brighter tone, which I think it works. I don't see any reason to replace it unless you really don't want it. But these guys have ebony fretboards with dot inlays. The frets do show some very minor wear, but overall definitely still playable. And once again, this does have kind of a heavier gauge of a string. If I were to guess, I would probably say 11s maybe. I guess I forgot to measure them exactly, but you've got your typical binding cracks from the wood expanding and contracting, but overall, those are very common. On to the body of the guitar. The body does have its fair share of dings, but it also retains its sweet Silverburst finish. Alright, the first dings to note are kind of in the cutaway area here. You've got some minor dings there, but there's kind of a major ding right there by the pick guard. This is a factory coil split switch. Unfortunately, since the original pickups were replaced, these pickups are only a 2-conductor, so that is not hooked up. And the owner before me disconnected these 2 pots and wired it. I think this one's actually the neck volume and this is the bridge volume. The original harness is included, But what's in here right now are two 77 pots and I think two 500K CTS pots. Actually, I think it's this way. But the original 79 harness, which is supposed to be original, still not, quite within the date range of 81 like this, but that is included in case you wanted to swap it out. The setup that this has right now, it's a little wonky. Sometimes the pickups can cut in and out depending on the pickup switch. Sometimes you gotta give that a good, couple of switches. So you're gonna want to get this guitar rewired to traditional settings. But it plays and sounds great now fabulously. I love this guitar as it sits, but I think having your tone back would be nice. Tone controls, that is. Alright, back to the condition here. We've got some dings in that area. And, just general wear and tear all over the guitar. It's not in mint condition. This is definitely one for the player. We'll shine the light here and see what we can see. You've got kind of a ding here, I guess. It's not as dark as it was, but there is a little ding there. But it's just a player's grade guitar. Many scratches. You have your original bridge tailpiece set up there. Once again, that is a 490R and 498T, and this is a really hot pickup. It sounds great. Alright, onto the back of the headstock. You can see the original Schallers were swapped out for kind of more modern Grovers. These are very nice tuners, but you do have the original holes there. And new holes were drilled for these tuners. Original tuning holes were probably reamed a little bit larger for these. That's a guess, because usually you can't get a Grover that'll fit in these vintage ones. But serial number is 82700560. You've got kind of a long scratch there as well. But overall, once again, player's grade shape. You've got a ding on the side here. It kind of looks like it hit a stand pretty hard or something. But no breaks, cracks, or repairs. But there is a single finish check line that runs straight across there, but it is not a break. Now, this neck does have a few, nicks and dings, but nothing too bad. You've got a little bit of an indentation here. And some right there. But the profile of this neck is interesting. I would say it is definitely a 60s profile with a little bit extra to it, but it feels very wide compared to like some Les Pauls I have. It's not like 2015 Gibson's wide, but it feels a little bit wider, so it feels, nice to do some chords on it. It's kind of hard to exactly describe, but I really enjoyed this neck. Up here in the neck pocket, you can see the finish is kind of chipped a little bit, but the neck has never been out or any garbage like that. The back of the guitar isn't too chewed up. You don't have any major buckle rash, as you can see, but you do have some very minor wear and tear. First point of interest here is finish chip here. It looks like you lost a little bit of wood, maybe, but overall not too bad. Wear and tear along the edges, but overall, the guitar's in good player's grade shape. So once again, tuners have been replaced, pickups have been replaced, and the pots have been replaced, but the original ones are included. Take a look at the sides here. You can see there's quite a few, nicks and dings along the sides here, but overall, nothing too bad. You do have your original strap buttons yet, which is kind of cool. Do a quick blacklight demonstration here. You can see the areas where the finish is kind of chipped off of the face of the headstock more clearly this way. But the body is in good shape. You can see you've got a little bit of lacquer wear in the cutaway area, but everything else looks pretty good on the front. Back of the headstock, you can also see those areas where it's kind of chipped away a little bit. But for the most part, the finish is stable, except for that one little area here where it's kind of getting a little flaky. But besides that, it shouldn't spread anymore if you don't, go picking at it. But no breaks, cracks, or repairs to report. But you do have some very light wear in the finish on the neck, as you're seeing here. Back of the guitar is also in good shape. Looks like you're clean of anything on here. We'll take a quick look at the sides. Got some light wear there. It looks like resting against your leg. I'm guessing here you'll have some from your arm. If we can focus, there we go. This beauty weighs 8 pounds, 2.4 ounces, which is very comfortable. This guitar will come with its original Gibson case. I guess to clarify, it's not the original one. This is actually the case that came with my mint Silverburst 335S. At the guitar show, there was a little bit of a mix-up when the owner bought that other one, where they got that case because it was misplaced and I couldn't find this case at the time. So this isn't the original one, but it is an original 335S case. This one's in good shape. I mean, very plush, excellent condition. And here is the original wiring harness. I think they are dated to 79. But you do have some very light wear and tear. You've got some, looks like electrical tape here, maybe keeping the Tolex down, but overall it is a fairly clean case. I don't know why Gibson designed these cases the way they did. Because this rest support, helps support the heel joint, it makes the guitar stand up really high, and the case almost looks like it doesn't fit. This is how every single 335S has been that I've had, so don't be alarmed by that, because it does still close just fine. Think you might be interested in being the next owner of this gorgeous Players Grade 335S Deluxe in Silverburst, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Trogois, or check out the Reverb and eBay listings. Alright, Trogly Lights, we'll catch you next time. Bye.